So, guys, today we got to talk about this New Jersey couple accused of holding their daughter captive in a dog cage and abused her for years. Let's look into it.
Turn our attention right now to another story. This one taking place just north of Maryland, in Pennsylvania. I want to put up a post right here on live now from Fox 2019 talking about the township there is a couple is being charged for confining and abusing a child. Prosecutors say a girl held captive inside a dog cage and chained inside the bathroom for years. The now 18-year-old escaped last week. Of course, so we're following it closely here on Live Now Fox, and we had an update from authorities in Camden County providing this. Let's listen into a very disturbing story here on Live Now from Fox.
And confined to her home, which helped to hide the heinous, years-long torture that she suffered. The victim stated that she was forced to live in a dog crate for approximately 1 year and let out only periodically. The victim also advised that she was later forced to live in a padlocked bathroom while being chained up. She stated that she would be let out of the bathroom only when family visited the residence. At other times, she was forced to live in a bare room with just a bucket to use instead of a toilet. She explained the bare room had an alarm system that would alert the defendants, Brandon Mosley, and Brenda Spencer, if she tried to leave. She reported she was beaten with a belt and sexually abused by Mosley. The abuse occurred for years until she escaped the residence on Thursday, May 8th. She was assisted by a neighbor. She later disclosed the abuse, which was reported to law enforcement. What this young woman survived was absolutely horrific. After speaking with the victim, our detectives searched the residence and found that the victim was subjected to living in squalid, filthy conditions alongside numerous animals, dogs, chinchillas, and other animals. Detectives also learned that a 13-year-old young female who lived in the home was also removed from school years earlier at Spencer's direction. Both girls were allegedly homeschooled. For homeschooling in New Jersey, parents are only required to notify the school district of their intent to homeschool. There is no requirements by the New Jersey Department of Education to follow up or to confirm attendance records, minimum instructional time, subjects, or testing. Homeschooling may be the right choice for many families. Unfortunately, it can be used by others as a means to hide abuse. In this case, both Spencer and Mosley were charged on Sunday, May 11th with the following charges. 1 count of first-degree kidnapping. 1 count of second-degree conspiracy to commit kidnapping. 1 count of second-degree aggravated assault. 5 counts of second-degree endangering the welfare of a child through abuse and neglect. 1 count of third-degree criminal restraint. 1 count of third-degree aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. 1 count of third-degree possession of a weapon for unlawful purpose. 1 count of fourth-degree unlawful possession of a weapon. Mosley was also charged with the additional offenses: 2 counts of first-degree aggravated sexual assault, 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault, 1 count of second-degree endangering the welfare of a child by sexual contact. On Sunday, May 11th, Spencer and Mosley were both taken into custody at the residence in Gloucester Township. Both were remanded to the Camden County Correctional Facility. Their detentions are scheduled for this Friday, May 16th at 9 a.m. in Superior Court.
Prosecutor, can you talk about the escape and how lucky this teenager is to be out of this situation now, and what that escape was like, and how lucky they were that a neighbor was involved?
She was extremely fortunate. At this time, we're not disclosing all the details. More details will be forthcoming at the detention hearing on Friday.
However, she did not want to disclose all this information. She did not disclose this information about being held to this level. We did send officers to the house. The house went at that time on Thursday evening. An investigation was conducted. However, we're limited on the amount of area that we can go and search and whatnot. And without a corroborating victim, there's only so much we could do. We offered her services. We gave her some resources at that time. She was looking for homeless services. However, she was going to stay with this neighbor that was assisting. But that all built up into the case that we're here for today. So while we did investigate, we're looking at everything. Believe me, we always want to see that we missed something. This case has been thoroughly reviewed. No information to this level was disclosed to us until that Saturday when they called the police again, which led us to where we are today.
What happened on May 8th that precipitated the victims wanted to see?
Yeah, I can't get into the details of how that happened that night. Further details will be related at the detention hearing and further procedures. But that evening, she was at a Wawa with a subject. That's where we initially responded to. Officers spoke to her that night. Other officers responded to the residence to conduct an investigation. She was offered domestic violence services, which she declined at that time. And the investigation was turned over for follow-up. But again, she did not pursue. We offered her the services. She did not indicate the level of abuse that was, we later found out when we were called again on Saturday night.
Can you just say exactly how he escaped?
I'm sorry, say that again. Yeah, I don't have those details, and I don't believe we're ready to release that information.
Can you describe the health and mental health needs of 16-year-old and 13-year-old sisters, 7 years of being held hostage? What does that do for the size of being grieving and the mental health of these two individuals, and how many and what types of dogs?
As you can imagine, anyone who's been confined for a period of 7 years, held in these conditions, living in squalid filth, is going to be damaged psychologically, physically, emotionally, mentally. And as you also can appreciate, when it comes to cases involving child endangerment and child abuse and sexual assault, confidentiality to protect the victims is paramount. So we're limited in all the details. More details will absolutely be forthcoming at the detention hearing.
What type of dogs?
I don't know the exact, but I do know there were some Great Danes, large dogs. There was some pet equipment and stuff like that was around that was for that type of breed, large dog stuff.
So how big was the 8-year-old that you
Both children are safe right now.
Dogs, there was some pet equipment and stuff like that was around that was for that type of breed, large dog stuff.
So how big was the 8-year-old that you
Both children are safe right now.
Do you know that you talk about the size of the
Yeah, like I said, it was for a Great Dane, so I don't have the exact measurements, but they were large enough to fit a Great Dane, which we know is a large breed of dog.
I'm sorry to that up my number, but did you get details about that?
Yo, honestly, I have no respect for parents who abuse their children. To be locked up in a dog cage is disgusting. That is disgusting. I hope these people go to jail. I hope these people get the death penalty.
that was how she escaped? She climbed out the window, she break out.
No, we're not, I don't believe we're ready to release those details at this time.
So we said, oh, captives was there any activity in the house where they were living any bit of a normal life going anything outside of the home?
The children are you referring to? Not that we're aware of, no.
She was there for 7 years inside the house.
Confined, yes.
What are your plans to try to change laws or rules on homeschooling, reporting desensitivity? What could be done?
Well, clearly there are flaws in the current educational system. This has been the law in the state of New Jersey for decades. That really is outside of our purview because it's not criminal law, but certainly this case proves there's need to revamp and revisit those laws.
Has there been any prior complaints from neighbors about the
There was not.
Can you add to that?
Yeah.
So we had no indication anything about any child abuse. We had some animal complaints in the past, but nothing to this level. Nothing, no domestic violence types calls that we are aware of. But just barking dogs, which were handled. Again, they were found to be legal and not charged. But those we've had some animal complaints from neighbors and whatnot.
Do you know how long they lived in the residence?
I do not.
Definitely since 2019. Prior to that, I don't have information at this time, but definitely since 2019.
About being a teenager for years, was there any inquiry by family members, anyone officially or not, where is this girl? She just seems to be non-existent for 7 years.
Not that was brought to law enforcement's attention.
How long was the couple of
I do not know that. I just want to amend one statement. The girls lived in that residence since 2018. I'm sorry, I don't have that information as well.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a parent. If you had a chance to wrap your head around this, just what is your thought as a mom seeing this? I think most of us would say this is pretty incredible for you.
100%. I am a parent. To me, this is the most abhorrent, heinous crime anyone could commit. You see criminals all over the country doing horrific, horrible acts, whether it's physical or sexual abuse. When it comes at the hands of a parent to a child, there's nothing worse.
You said you found the dog. There was no giant abuse. Is it safe to say you better than
I'm not prepared to say that at this time, but it certainly was concerning about the animals' care. Again, when we heard this, also want to just reiterate that at the time that we encountered her on this Thursday night, she's an 18-year-old adult, right? And we're not aware of any of abuse that she brought up to us as a child. So that's why when we say we refer to her for domestic violence service, she's conveyed to us that she was having some kind of disagreement or threat from her father that was unable to be proven for criminal charges and whatnot. I'd also just say that, we did, as part of the investigation, confirm with the Gloucester Township Public School District that they were, in fact, the parents had removed them. The school district has cooperated with us completely, and they followed all the proper procedures. But as the prosecutor said, we're very concerned about this abusive person, this type of abuse happening under the guise of homeschooling.
What Wawa did you move?
It's located at 800 Black Horse Pike in Blackwood.
Are you going to see which school she is drawn from, higher education?
No, I'm not. I don't believe we're able to. She was in the Gloucester Township Public School District.
It's clear on the timeline, from the time from the Thursday to Saturday, she never went back to the home.
I don't have that information. I can't say for sure whether she went back to return or not, but I don't have that information.
Do you know what sort of motivated them to go this far with the abuse, or was it the adults that were, saw it to buy
We really don't.
Do you know if the 13-year-old was aware of the abuse of the other?
At this time, we're really not in a position to disclose that information.
Can you describe the alarm system that was down the alarm system, or was that just something that what kind of an alarm system?
As I know, and correct me, the detectives that are handled that are here, as it was described to me, it was kind of like a contact alarm on the door that made some kind of audible alarm sound if the contact broke by opening the door, similar to what you would have on your own home burglar alarm system. Is that correct?
Okay, thanks for coming. I'll be hanging around if you have any more specifics you want to try to get.
All right, just listening in there, very graphic details in this child abuse and kidnapping case involving these individuals there in the Philadelphia area. As we're following it very closely, the horrors inside of that room as we were learning more information from police as these two individuals behind this, as investigation launched into alleged house of horrors after an 18-year-old victim escaped last week with the help of a neighbor. The victim was told law enforcement that she has been abused by Brenda Spencer and Brandon Mosley since 2018, when she was removed from school and held captive in the couple's home. Over the years, officials say the victim was forced to live in a dog crate before being chained up in a padlocked bathroom, then put in a bare room with just a bucket as a toilet. Also noting there, an alarm system would alert the couple if she tried to leave. She was only let out periodically, including when family would visit. So a very difficult one in a potential house of horrors there.
Yeah, see, that is disgusting. They should hold no remorse for neither of these parents at all. Send them both to jail, throw away the key. Send them both to jail and throw away the key. Also, we should enforce homeschooling laws, where the education system will have to do a monthly checkup on parents who are homeschooling their children, just to make sure that none of these type of cases are even happening in the first place to begin with. We still got to protect the future of this country, which is the children. They took her out of elementary school in 2018 and abused her all the way up until now. She had to be about 13 years old at that age, at that time, because she's 18 now. Yeah. New Jersey needs to push a law that enforces homeschooling laws that would allow the education department to do monthly checkups on that child and those parents that is homeschooling their kids, so things like this won't be happening. Give me a comment in the comment section if you actually agree with what I'm saying, because this is absolutely a disgrace. This is disgusting. This is one of the things that are detrimental to our society. We can't have people like these two. You can't have people like these two. And this is a white and a black man. This is a white woman and a black man. White woman and a black man. So racism is nowhere near involved in this situation at all. This is terrible, and I hope she receives justice. I hope that young lady receives justice. I really do. But like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out.